All right, gang. UFC 326 just wrapped up. Max Holloway submitted Charles Oliveira like I predicted. Let's fucking go. Woo! No one can beat him. He's the GOAT and he's beating Ilya. No. Charles fucking 50-45 Max. Quite possibly one of the most dominant fights I have ever seen in my life. However, I am torn. I was wrong about Max winning this fight. Uh, but this shit, this whole card in general might be the worst card I've ever fucking seen. I uploaded a live reaction to the co-main event, Cal versus Reina, and I said that as I'm watching it, I said, "Oh, this is the most exciting fight of the night so far." And I made a joke about how, oh my god, I say that as if Max and Charles isn't going to be more exciting than this. Foreshadowing. You know the subtle foreshadowing meme that was going on, bro. You could chop me up saying that and just put Charles and Max on the ground, like interspliced every 3 seconds as I'm saying that, bro. Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira might have been the most boring fight on this fucking card, bro. Absolutely nobody on this planet predicted that shit, bro. Charles, I love you despite what people may think. I do like Charles. Like Charles Oliveira has no haters. He may have just turned me into a slight hater after this shit, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He 50-45 Max. Impressive as fuck. That shit was not BMF. You are not YVL. Get the fuck out of here, bro. But to be fair, Max, you should have been able to stop at least one fucking takedown, bro. The fight started, and bro, Max Holloway in the first like 20 seconds had landed at least 10 strikes, and Charles had landed about 2. And then Charles just does what he does. He crashes in, he grabs him, and then every single time he just managed to take him down, and he just held him on the ground. I will say though, Max's submission defense is fucking elite, bro. He had Charles Oliveira on his back or in dominant positions for at least 15 minutes straight in this fight. Did not get submitted. That's like a very like a what's it called? Like a consolidation prize. I don't even know if that's the right term, but it's like, oh yeah, man, you got 50-45 by Charles, but you didn't get submitted. That actually is really impressive, but the fact that you got 50-45 is not, bro. Max, what the fuck were you doing? He had to have had some sort of injury. My GOAT had staph. He was sick. He stubbed his toe walking out. He had a sore tummy. I don't know. But congrats to Charles, and I'm not gonna lie, I can see Charles getting a lot of shit for this fight. If this was any other sort of fight, wouldn't have been a problem. And like I said, I'm torn because Charles is obviously he's grappling heavy. That's like his specialty. And when he is on the ground, bro, he does constantly just go for submissions. But it's like when Jailton Almeida, bro. Yes, I'm mentioning Charles Oliveira and Jailton Almeida in the same fucking sentence, bro. That is how ass this fight was. I have to keep it real, bro. I know all the Charles Oliveira fans and Glazers are gonna fucking fry my shit, bro. But fuck it, man. I have to keep it real. It reminds me of the Jailton Almeida fight at UFC 300, where Jailton won the fight, and you know how they were doing 300k bonuses for fight of the night. And Jailton submitted the dude, and he said he got on the mic and had the fucking audacity to say, "Oh yeah, man, like I'm always working really hard for the finish." Gang, just because you are working for a finish on the ground in a submission does not mean that shit is cool to watch, bro. Jailton, get the fuck out. Charles hit Utah's copy technique from JJK and copied Jailton Almeida, bro. I cannot believe what the fuck I was seeing, man. Terrible, bro. So, on one hand, yes, you have Charles 50-45 them, grappled only. Yes, Max should have been able to stop the takedowns And then on the other hand, you have Max. Yes, he had Charles on his back for 15 to 20 minutes. Did not get submitted. That is some BMF shit. But bro, like, I'm sorry, man. I cannot consider this a good, like, BMF win. Very good win in general for Charles, of course. Max Holloway, top 10 fighter all fucking time. He 50-45'd him. Only other person to do that is Volk. But for a BMF fight, dog, this shit was fucking trash. And does anybody really care about the BMF belt now that Max doesn't have it? Like, Max single-handedly brought legitimacy to that belt. Yeah, I'm glazing. What are you going to do about it? But one thing I will say, the next person, like, if you get offered Max Holloway as your next opponent, do not sign that contract, bro. Max Holloway is going to fucking kill whoever he fights next. Whenever he loses a fight, he bounces back and fucking almost murders everybody. Who did he lose to? He lost to Volk. He fought Volk twice in a row. Lost both. Nearly murdered Calvin Kattar. Lost to Arna, to be fair, he lost to Volk and then he fought Arnold Allen, and that shit was kind of trash. So maybe not, but I think Max is gonna fucking destroy whoever else they put in front of him, bro. But like, what do you do with Charles now? I can see why, like the UFC script writers, bro, they were cooking. The meme of the pencil on fire as it's writing, bro, if they made this the interim title fight, you would now have to do Charles versus Ilya too. Which they obviously don't want to do because Ilya packed Charles up in like 90 seconds. Got him the fuck out. So the fact that this is BMF, cool. I don't know who Charles could fight next. Like, logically, you would think Armin, although he could... I was going to say if Max won, Max could have just sat on the belt and just waited for Justin and Ilya, which got announced as the headliner of the White House card. Like, does anybody really fucking care about that shit? I'll talk about that later. But for Charles... He lost to Ilya, he beat Gamrot, he beat Max. But does anybody really want to see Ilya just knock him the fuck out again? I could see a world where Ilya beats Justin and then vacates and goes up to welterweight to try to fight Islam. So they could just do like Armin versus Charles 2 for the undisputed or something like that. But yeah, for I don't know, bro. It's so hard because, like, I do love Charles, and one thing I notice is that, bro, Charles will fight Ilya Topuria, stand in the pocket, and fucking exchange with him, but he wants no smoke with Max. Just take down immediately. Although I will say Ilya did get him in a crucifix. Maybe if Max showed some sort of dominance in the grappling, like, that would have been better. But for a BMF fight, this shit fucking trash. Worst BMF fight that has ever happened. And like I said, I don't know if anybody's gonna really like care about this shit now that Max doesn't have that title. You could do like the only other person really is Dan Hooker, but you know, you don't even have to fight Dan Hooker to beat him these days. He got 10-8'd by Instagram ho. That's tough. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the main event. Unfortunate, but like I can see both sides. I can see both sides. Max, you should have been able to stop at least one fucking takedown and keep it on the feet somewhat. In the fifth round, Max actually did get top position, and I'm like, bro, is he actually about to wrap up a submission like I thought? But no. Charles proved me wrong. That's cool. I'm happy to be wrong. Anyway, moving on. Cal Baraujo versus Reina Dorita. Most entertaining fight on this card. I was picking Reina, so I also got this one wrong. I got everything else on the card right, apart from the main event and Cal versus Reina. Cal is overhyped, and people talk about him like he's this fucking second coming of MMA Jesus, and that he's so fucking smart, and he just gets in there and just does nothing that I haven't seen before. I will say though, at the start of this fight, he came out fucking swinging. He was going ham. He was trying to finish him. So I think if he takes that energy into every other fight, like his stock will rise. The thing with Cal though, even in the pre-fight press conference, G, Rayner said like, oh, yeah, I might shoot on him, and Cal grabs the mic and he's like, yeah, you're gonna have to shoot on me, bro. All right, free spirit throat, fucking chill out. And I came to the realization Cal has zero aura, bro. And people talk about how, oh, we need to like sell fights. Fighters need to sell fights. All these dudes have no personality. They fucking suck. So I can appreciate Cal like trying to talk a bit of shit, and try to sell himself. But bro, like you have no aura, bro. I could not give a fuck less about Cal shit talking. And then in the post fight interview, he's just fucking yapping and screaming and shit. Like, come on, bro. It was not that lit. You're not that lit, bro. But good performance. The fact that this was a 30-27, every judge gave every round to Cal, that is fucking insanity, bro. I had Cal winning the first round just because he dropped Rayner. I think Rayner won the second, and then Cal's wrestling won in the third. So the decision was right. I think Cal did win this fight, but it was not a unanimous 30-27. I actually may not have been surprised if it was a draw. Like, this fight was really close. But shout out to Cal. He called out Drickus. I think Drickus whoops Cal, but no, actually Drickus wins. Maybe he wins that with some high difficulty, bro. I actually think that's a pretty good matchup. So that was a good call out, bro. Good that he's not just calling out Hamza. He was saying, yeah, I have the best wrestling in this division. You heard of Hamza, bro? I'm pretty sure he would have something to say about that, G. Anyway, rest of the card, fucking trash. Raul Rosas Jr., wrestle heavy. I wasn't even really watching this fucking fight properly because it was just Raul wrestle fucking him. Like, just boring as hell. I know that UFC is cracking down on all this boring shit. And Raul Rosas is a fan favorite. Like, he gets a big pop, but that's just because he's so young, bro. And I think if he continues to fight like this, I could see the fans turning on him quite quickly, bro. But he beat Rob Font. Cool. Drew Dober beat Michael Johnson, TKO second round, so I got that one right. I also was picking Chihuihuis to beat Rob Font. And then Robocop beat Bruno Ferreira. I thought he would. And retrospect, this was the second most exciting fight on the card. Started off real slow, and then Robocop just found a punch. He one-tapped him, bro. Broke his shield and fucking took him down. Not literally took him down as in a takedown, but took him down as in like knocked him out. And yeah, that was the card, really. Fucking ass. Prelims, Cody Garbrandt won. I thought Long Shao would have beaten him. I know absolutely nothing about Long Shao, but I was picking him just because Cody Garbrandt is fucking washed. But I guess not. He got a decision. No one even gives a shit about anything else that was on here. Early prelims. We just have randomly generated UFC career mode prospects. Yeah. That's it. So the whole card summarized in, how long have I been recording? 14 minutes. Insane how, on paper, Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway 2 should have been a generational fight. This was generational in the wrong way. Generationally fucking trash, bro. I couldn't believe it. But like I said, man, like I'm repeating myself, but I need to emphasize that I fully understand Charles's game plan. Get him on the ground. You do not want to be standing with Max Holloway. But at the same time, this is a BMF fight. People are expecting big shit, and I think like Charles's stock actually dropped. Let me just quickly open up Twitter where everyone holds hands and gets along. Don't crown that belt. Yeah. McGregor just tweeted, said that was very bad. Like, Charles should be hanging his head in shame. Yeah, that was. But like I said, like, just the fact that like Max literally made this belt legit, bro. The BMF shit, this shit was not BMF at all. I have to keep it real. Even at the cost of me getting fucking torched by all the Charles fans, bro. I have to keep it real. That shit was so fucking ass, Charles. I'm sorry. You are not BMF. You won that fight. Max keeps the belt. I'm sorry, man. Fucking ass. Holy shit. Also, okay, White House got announced. It's called UFC Freedom, I believe. UFC Freedom 250. I'm not sure what 250 is in reference to. I'm not American, so forgive me, dude. What are the cards? What are the cards? What are the fights on here? Announced bouts. Main headliner, Ilya versus Justin. Cool. Justin Gaethje is actually going to meet the end of his life in the cage. So we are about to witness the first modern day MMA murder in a cage. Interim UFC bout, Cyril Gane versus Alex Pereira. We knew that because Alex gave up the light heavyweight belt, and Yuri and Carlos Ulberg are fighting for it. Sean O'Malley versus Eamon Zahabi. Cool. Rufy versus Chandler. Not gonna lie, that's a banger. Rufy's gonna fucking beat the shit out of Chandler. That is a good fight. Bo Nickel versus Kyle Dorcas. Who cares? Diego Lopez versus Steve Garcia. Not gonna lie, I do not even know who the fuck Steve Garcia is. So, if that's the full main card, I'm assuming that it is. Maybe some of these are like prelim fights. Because the way people were gassing this shit, oh, it's going to have like 5 title fights. Like, no, it's not, bro. They're doing a double championship fight on the card that Yuri and Carlos. It's Yuri and Carlos for the light heavyweight, and then Joshua Van is fighting Tatsudo Taira on that same card. So, current heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall is unable to compete due to recent eye surgeries. Yeah, bro. I think Tom is not long for the sport. He's going to get cut or he's going to leave, bro. They asked him if he's going to be competing this year. He said, I don't know. Translation, he is getting stripped. If he doesn't come back in time, they're going to strip him and promote one of them to whoever wins out of Alex and Cyril. They're going to promote them to undisputed. If it's Alex, they'll promote him. Maybe with Cyril, they'll make him defend his interim belt. Yeah, in summary, this shit was ass. I can't believe it. Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway 2 was one of the worst, most fucking boring fights I've ever seen, bro. If this wasn't for a BMF belt, like, cool. It wouldn't be as bad, but the fact that this shit was for BMF. And like I said, that's crazy because a couple years ago, BMF was a fucking joke, bro. Max gave it legitimacy. That shit is now back to being a fucking joke. I was expecting Charles to just let go of Max when the last 10 seconds. I thought he was just going to let go of Max and do a point down and knock Max out. That's how good he was looking. But I don't know, bro. Am I salty? Like, not really, because Max lost to Charles. If Max lost to, like, I don't know, some fucking bum, like, that would never happen, but it is what it is, I guess. What did you think? Like, everyone is gonna be like, oh yeah, you know, oh, it's Charles. But bro, I have seen fans flip on a dime on fighters, bro. So, and Max Holloway is fucking beloved, bro. So to go out there and have a performance like that doesn't bode too well for him, bro. If Conor came back, Conor has said that he's interested in fighting the winner of this BMF fight. The people's champ will be Conor, bro, based on this performance from Charles. Sorry to say. But that's all. I'm going out to the club tonight. I need to forget about this shitty ass card, bro. Drown my sorrows, G. So I'll be recording some more videos. Once I start drinking, I'll loosen up a bit. Jump back in front of the mic, hop on the booth, start spitting bars, flames. Got some videos to make. Carlos Prates versus JDM. I might talk about the White House card. I've got a couple other topics, so I'll probably just smash all those out. But yeah, shit was trash. Max, you're not washed, but you should have been able to stop a takedown. Charles, I understand it. I forgive you, but you are not BMF. You are not YVL. You are not FTA. Get the fuck out of my face. Goodbye.